Hey everybody, welcome to the Desktop Dynasties training camp. In this video, we're going to talk about the off season. So I have loaded up the Tree Frogs League, as we've been looking at through most of the videos, and we're at the end of the season. And the Tree Frogs won the championship, which is awesome because that's my team. Just for fun, let's go to the college standings. Oregon State won the national championship over Wisconsin. That's cool. Maybe if you don't like Wisconsin. But anyway, off season. So if you go to news, you can see there's this the league schedule, and this is that reminder of all the off season activities. You don't have to go to this, but I'm just bringing this up to sort of show the order in which things happen. So when we go to the offseason, the first thing that's going to happen is players retire. Then we're going to go to the coach hiring stage. Then we're going to go to the rookie draft. We're going to do free agency, and then the offseason's over. So those are the activities we're going to cover. So, first things first, where do you get to the offseason? It's in the schedule. After you play the final week of the season, this end season button will pop up. Just above, just in that bar where you have your game control buttons. Click that, and we go into the off season. Now, immediately, players started retiring, but we don't worry about that yet. First thing is first, we have to decide if we're going to hire a new coach, because the coach is sort of the basis of everything you do for roster building and depth chart and all of that stuff. The coach tells you what players are good or bad. The coach tells you what formations you run and how many players of each type you have and all that stuff. Now, you don't have to ever change your coach. Coaches never retire. Coaches never quit. Coaches do get fired in college, but they don't get fired in the pros. So this is totally optional if you ever want to do this. But sometimes you just get tired of running the same offense. And you want to, or defense, and you want to change. And this is where you change. So you can see down at the bottom is our current offensive coordinator and our current defensive coordinator, who also controls special teams. And Winston Lee is who we have. He does 3 wide receiver one running back offense. And you can see by his icons, he likes running quarterbacks, because under the quarterback column, he likes the running icon. He's got the route icons for running back and wide receiver. So that means he likes receiving running backs, receiving wide receivers. He's got the strength icon for tight ends. So that means he likes blocking tight ends. And he likes balanced linemen. His development icons are all the normal. Like, they're not no positives or negatives. They're all normal. Which means everybody at every position will improve a little bit. Now here's all the available offensive coordinators. And you can see offensive package is what they like to run. So maybe I want to run something with a tight end. I can choose one of these guys. If I want to go 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, I could choose this guy. Or if I want to go 4 wide receiver, I could choose these guys. This is your opportunity to change your offense. If you want to get a closer look at him, you highlight a guy and click the profile button. And you can get a little closer look at, all right, what does this guy's base offense look like? What's his base package? Oh, okay, running back 2's offset, running back 1's there, wide receiver 1's over there. You can look at the player preferences. What type of player does he like? What type of playbook will he build? It's okay, so his first is pass, so most of his players are going to be pass. He's going to have a few run plays, and then kind of the last 3 plays are RPOs, or run pass options. And there's his training. So you can do that, kind of search which ones you like. Same with defense. I run 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 for all of the defensive positions. My defensive corner likes balanced D linemen, run stopping linebackers, zone corners, and pass defense safeties. So if I were to say, oh, look at this guy, he likes 3 defensive linemen and 3 corners. Well, that's interesting. Let's look at him. Likes pass defense linebackers, man defense corners, run defense safeties. His playbook is basically man defense, and he doesn't love to blitz. But, so like if you refresh his playbook, you'll notice, okay, he's got a few blitzes because this defense likes to blitz, but they're not all blitzes. And as you play with this coach, if you let him call the plays, he'll more favor the plays that don't blitz. But having them in the playbook is good, just in case you as the human do want to blitz. But he'll definitely favor the safe plays more often. So that's how you look at this. Now again, you never have to change your coach if you don't want. For the most part, unless there's a very specific reason I want to switch formations, like maybe on defense, I'm just tired of running 2 defensive line. I've gotten bored with it. I want to run 3 defensive line. Then I may switch to a 3 defensive line coach, like this one maybe, where I just basically take a linebacker and turn him into a D lineman. So something like that might be something I would do. Pass rush D lineman, blitz linebacker. This is going to be a pressure defense. But if you want to hire one, you just highlight the one you want to hire and click hire as defensive coordinator. And then he'll pop in down here. Same with offense. If I want to hire this guy, highlight hire offensive coordinator, and it'll show up down there. Now I'm not going to change anything about my team. Most of the time I don't, because changing your team is pretty difficult unless you already have the players. So I'm just going to be done. I'm skipping this altogether. And then you go to the draft. Now, you can pretty much click start draft right away. All that does is make the draft controls pop up. What you're seeing here is very, very similar to the allocation draft and the roster screen, frankly. We're looking at the skill view right now, which again, these are all the skills that the game engine uses. I can click position view and get my coaches. Let me change that. This will be the coach of the team who's on the clock, what they think of these players. So right now the Ninja's coach is telling me what he thinks about these players because the Ninja has the top pick and they're on the clock. Coach's ranking, you click on that and it'll rank all the players by what the coach thinks. Just remember, position is an opinion. When you look at that, skills is a fact. So don't rely always on position view because this is an opinion. If you really want to see what the skills are, look at the skills view. But in any case, you can see there's only 5 pages of guys. And in a previous video, we did a draft preview, and there were 34 pages of guys. So well, you can see now that only certain players have been invited to the draft, and not every player. And you go to the last page. Well, I should say there's only 4 pages of guys. There's a couple of $10 guys, some 11, some 12. If you remember if you look at all the players, I mean these things go down to like $6, $2. So it really is a sampling of the top players that made it to the draft. And you see, above $20, like almost all those players got invited. After that, it's just a sampling of kind of the next group of players. The players that didn't go on and have careers in other areas. So, the Ninja are on the clock. And that means it's their pick. But just because it's their pick, it doesn't mean we can't do things. Now, just like the allocation draft, we can tag players here. So I really, let's just say, I'm still really weak at D-line. I've had so many problems with D-line. I need to draft a D-lineman. So you want to highlight the top D-lineman. I'll look at his skills and say, all right, those guys are all right. And just like the allocation, I can tag him. I'm going to tag this guy. He looks pretty good. I like this guy. He's pretty good. None of the other ones are really impressing me that much. Oh, maybe Young Gay is good. I'm going to tag him. Yeah, any of the guys don't impress me that much. We'll go by speed. Oh, here's a linebacker who would be superstar. Well, not superstar, but a really good prospect. Good run defense. Good blitz. Not great at tackle, but Yeah, that's okay. I'm going to tag him. So I've tagged a few guys, but it's the Ninja's pick. Now, what else can I do? I can say get pick. So this get pick button means, hey team, what would you want from my roster to trade up to this pick? So I hit get pick, and the Ninja are telling me, I will give you this pick for either of these two guys. Now, Butler is a superstar wide receiver. No way. Lozano's my stud linebacker. No. So the Ninja are being kind of greedy, but they're being greedy because they've identified a player on the board that they think is worth nearly as much to them as either of these players. So when you see the AI teams being super greedy, that means there's somebody they really like, and they're going to take him. So I don't want to trade either of these guys, so I just click make pick, and the Ninja makes the pick. And then the Spiders are up. And after the first pick, the teams automatically start filling in what they would trade the pick for. The top pick doesn't automatically do it, but each pick below that will. So the Spiders are saying, all right, I'll trade you this pick for these guys. And now they say Wayne Smith is somebody they would trade this pick for. Well, I don't know. If I was really excited about somebody that I had tagged, maybe I'd make that deal. But I'm not. So I'm gonna just let him make the pick. And then you can keep doing this as you go through the draft. Now I have the second to last pick in the draft. I won the championship, but the draft order is purely by record. It's not by playoff, the final playoff. So I won the championship, but I had the second best record, so I picked second from the end. So once you get in the playoffs, once the regular season's over, your pick is locked. So we're going to go through. All right, no, I don't want that. I'm not going to make those trades. I might make this trade. Okay, this is interesting. So when the draft progresses to the next team, you notice that the order changes, the order of players changes, and a new player is highlighted. What that means is the order is what does the T-Rex's coach think the order of players from best to worst is in the draft. And it's usually fairly similar to what the salary is, because salary is based on just pure player skill. Like what the player's initial salary is based on just how good are they regardless of what coach it is. The order of coach's ranking is, all right, well, now take that value and adjust it based on what the coach likes. And then you'll also notice that a guy gets highlighted all the time, and it's not always the top guy. What that means is the T-Rex's coach has suggested that the T-Rex draft this guy, and then they highlight it. Not because he's better, but because he fits the need for the T-Rex right now. So that's who the T-Rex are basing trading this pick on. They're basing it on, all right, I'm going to draft Carlo Gill unless I trade the pick. Who do you have that I would rather have than Carlo Gill? And they say Griffin. Now maybe I look at him and say, oh, this is my number 2 wide receiver. I don't really throw the ball to number 2 because I'm a running quarterback team. I can trade him. Now, if you want to make the trade, what you do is you highlight the player you're willing to trade. In this case, it's the only one I have down there is this guy. And then you click the Make Trade button. So you pick the trade you're willing to take, click Make Trade, boom. And if you look up here, Tree Frogs are on the clock now. I have this pick now. It's still the T-Rex's spot, so that didn't change. But I have the pick. So now I get to pick. And you notice this reordered again, and a new player was highlighted, and that's because my coach thinks I should take Larson. Why should I take Larson? Well, because he's actually a running quarterback, and my coach would rather play my running quarterback at something else. So I don't agree with him on that. I want to make my own pick. But before I make the pick, there's something else you can do when it's your pick, and I'll say it right now. You can get offers. Think of this as the reverse of get pick. If you're on the clock, you can say, all right, AI teams, what would you give me for this pick? And 2 teams came to the table and said, the Machine and the Sasquatch were both willing to trade up to get this pick. And these are the players that they would trade. Let's look by position just so I can see. Yeah, the Machine are going to trade, what is he, a running back or a wide receiver or safety, whatever he wants to play. And the Sasquatch are willing to trade running back / wide receiver / D-line, depending on where you want to play them. It's like, oh, that's pretty good. So if I want to trade this pick for one of these players, it's the same process. You highlight the one you want to take, you click make trade, and then they are now on the clock, and you've got the player. But I don't want to do that. I actually want to make this pick. And I've decided, let's see, linebacker, no. Who did I want to take? Let's say I wanted to take, yeah, none of these guys are really that good. You know what? I really needed that help on D-line. My D-line is terrible. I identified this Kaufman as my favorite D-lineman. That's who I'm taking. I want the pass rush. I want some run rush. Yeah, he's slow. He's not very strong, but you know what? Now I'm looking at it, I'm changing my mind. I think this Chandler guy, he's good run rush, not great at pass rush, but he's going to be good against the run, and that's really where my weakness is. So now that I have the pick, I'm taking this Chandler guy. Highlight him, just like the allocation draft, make pick, and then I made my pick. And you can continue to do this through all the picks, or just like the allocation draft, you can auto to my pick, and that just hurries up and gets you to your pick. So now it's my pick again, and I'm looking. I don't know what I need right now, so I can go to my team. I can look at I can do an auto depth chart. I can say, oh well, Duffy, you're supposed to be quarterback, so I'm going to lock you, and then I'm going to auto. And you kind of look and figure out what you need, and you say, oh, that new rookie that I got is pretty good, sliding in at D-line right away. Things are looking good, but I don't know, wide receiver 3 with 31 speed, that doesn't seem right. I think I need a better wide receiver. So then you pop back to the draft by clicking draft, and I look and I say, all right, who's available at wide receiver? Well, none of these guys are that great, but I'm starting a 33 speed wide receiver. This guy's a huge upgrade, so I'm going to take him. Make pick. Auto to my pick because I don't want to go through all of them. And now things are looking pretty slim in the draft. When you draft a guy, you still got to pay him. So you might get to this point and say, you know what? I could use this money better in free agency. Paying one of these guys $17, no, I just can't do it. So you can skip the pick too. If I click skip pick, the pick moves on, but I didn't take anybody. So I haven't used that salary now or that roster spot. And then when you're done, just auto to end. And then you get the end draft button. Click that, and the draft is done, and you're progressed to free agency. So let's go back and look at my team. And I know I do a little auto depth chart. Well, nothing's changed because I didn't take that last pick. But I look and I say, oh, yeah, my wide receiver looks a little better now. Offensive line looks good. Defensive line looks good. Linebackers look good. Yeah, my team looks pretty good. I still could use one more better defensive lineman, or a wide receiver. Or actually, running back is really what I need. Look, my running back has a 38 for running. All right, I've identified running back as what I need in free agency. I've also noticed I got 2 empty roster spots, and I know I need to have a full roster going into the season. So you go to free agency, and you can immediately see Oh, my coach agrees with me. There's 2 open roster spots, which we just saw. My top need is running back. Yep. Now my coach thinks I need a linebacker too. Well, that's interesting. Okay. I didn't notice that, but he's probably right. Um, and my coach says I need another wide receiver. I need to upgrade at wide receiver. What the coach is telling me is these are the top 3 things, top 3 weaknesses on my roster. Cap space is my current cap space. Cap space after offers is my cap space minus any offers I have out. And I don't have any out yet. All right, free agency, day 1 of 10. There are 10 days of free agency. Actually, it goes to 11 because the last day is just cleaning up any outstanding offers. This, again, just like your roster, tells you your cap situation. And then here's the free agency window. And the way this works is, again, skill and position view is just like every other screen. The make offer button is just like in-season free agent. You just click it and the offer is good. Demand or top bid, what this is showing you is the greater of what the player is asking for or what he's already been offered. So this guy, $45, he wants $45. If somebody's offered him $50, that's going to show $50. And then the make offer button will change accordingly. So let's just go to the day and let the AI start making some offers. So what you're seeing here is, okay, so let's look at Weaver. He has been offered at least $45 by the Blues. The Blues are the top bidding team. There could be other teams bidding on him, but he's the top. Like the Samurai is the top bidder for 3 guys. If I want to make a bid on this guy, all I have to do is beat the Blues bid. And that means that this button has already been set up to beat the top bid. So there's no negotiating. I just decide if I want to get in or not. I need a running back, so I'm going to sort by running back. And I say, oh, well, these guys are all terrible, but Gregory Chung, I really like him. No, I don't really like him. I like Del Schmidt. But just for argument's sake, I'm going to say I really like this guy. Because the Ninja are the top bid. They've already given him $30. I can decide if I want to beat that or not, and I've decided I do. I just click on that, and now I'm the top guy. I've bid $31. Now, players field bids until they're not getting any more bids. And if I just go up $1 and I just say, all right, Ninja, I'm going to beat you by 1. There's a pretty good chance the Ninja are going to come back the next day and try to beat my offer. I can try to head them off right now by just upping my offer another $1. Boom. Now it's $22 or $32. I can do that again until I get up to the point where I say, all right, you know what? I'm willing to go $40 on this guy. I'm just going to go 40 right now and get this deal done. But I'm not going to do that. So I've made my bid. As you can see, cap space after offers has gone down because now I have an offer. And we'll go to next day. And as you can see, the Ninja didn't outbid me. I'm still leading. He hasn't signed yet, but I'm still leading. The other thing you might notice is all those other make offer buttons have disappeared. Except for guys I can afford. $26 after offers, I can afford everybody 26 or below. So basically this auto filters out what I can and can't afford. Now, if we're going and I realize, you know what? I fell in love with this guy too quick. I really can't afford that. This isn't the right guy for me. You can highlight him and you can cancel your offer, and now I'm out. I'm out. No, I'm not off. I'm not making an offer for him. I get all my money back, and I can make an offer on somebody else. So now I just realized, you know what? What I really wanted is I really wanted the Speedster. I wanted. I do. I want Gregory Chung. Boom, $43. Go to next day. Oh, the Panthers outbid me. He's up to $47 now. But he still shows up in my offers list, and his money is still counting against my offers because I'm still in on this guy for what, 40 something dollars. Now if I realize I can't go 2 years $47 for this guy, it's way too much. I can bail out right now. I get that money back, but the Panthers still are leading. All right, well that's, okay, you beat me. You got him. Got him from me. And you can also see some of these guys have started to sign. So like this Damian Whitehead, he signed with the Chickens. He's on their team. The Samurai got both of those guys. And you can see guys are starting to come off the board now and be signed. So if I want to get a guy, I gotta get on the ball here. Now, of course, the Ninja went back on him because that was the guy they were going for originally. But now it's gotten too rich for me, right? I've decided I got to save my money. So go to next day, and you might notice if you're following a guy, but you haven't made an offer, right around about now, their demands start dropping. If they haven't been signed, they start dropping, and guys start kind of freaking out a little bit and saying, "Oh, I gotta sign something." So like Del Schmidt is 2 years, $20 is what he wants right now. Let's go to another day. Where's Del? Where's old Del? Oh, he got an offer. Some of these other guys though that weren't signed, remember, like there was a whole group of $20 guys. Now their ask starts to drop a little bit each day that they stay without offers. So that's a strategy too, is you can wait. 2 years 13 all these guys want. 1 year 13. Right around day 8, they also start dropping the number of years they want to sign. This is desperation time for free agents. These are guys that are not getting signed by anybody. They drop their ask until somebody makes an offer. And then if that's not working, they start dropping the years. So right around day 8, everybody wants 1 year deals, which is good because these are right now the guys that nobody wants. So I'll take a guy for 1 year because I know if it doesn't work out, I just let him go into free agency next year. No big deal. Nothing out. Look at the skills. I say this guy's pretty good. 1 year, $12. I need to sign 2 guys. I don't know. What else do we need? You can always use special teams. I always like to get my special teams out of free agency if I can't find anybody else. This guy looks good. He's younger. 1 year, $10. All right, I got 2 offers out. Go to the next day. They disappear from my current offers, so that means I signed them. No open roster spots. I can now just sim to end, or I can click go to next day until it's over. Yep, day 11, everything gets cleaned up. Finish free agency. What happens when you click finish free agency is it not only rolls the season over to the next season and resets the schedule and everything, it also runs training camp in the background. And it's not huge, it's subtle, just like the training that happens after every game. But I shouldn't say it, but it is totally based on your coach. So if you go to my offensive coordinator, it's based on this player development stuff for offensive players. It's based on this for defensive players. But it adds a slight element of what I'm calling boom or bust for really young players. This is that simulating the idea that you're really unsure about rookies as they come in the league, and some of them might be amazing. You might get a rookie that looks average at best, and coming out of training camp, he may have jumped up in ability. That'll happen sometimes, and all that stuff happens after you click the end free agency button. Training camp runs, season rolls over, schedule's cleared, stats are cleared, all that stuff's cleared, any teams with open roster spots get automatically filled out of whoever's left in free agency. So if you don't fill your roster spots, the computer will fill it for you. Just keep that in mind. But then now, basically, you're right back at the beginning of the season, just like you were after the allocation draft. Exact same place. You got to set your depth chart. You got to figure out who you're going to re-sign. You got to, make sure you got the right plays, all that stuff. So this is essentially exactly where you were after allocation draft. And that's kind of it. That's it for the offseason. It's actually fairly straightforward once you've done it a couple of times. The tricks to remember are most teams keep their good young players. And by young, I mean just about anybody under 28. Most teams keep them and re-sign them through the year unless they go over the cap. So the bulk of your long-term star players are going to come from the draft. Free agency is where you're going to find guys to plug in the holes. They're generally going to cost more. But that's where you kind of round out your rosters in free agency. It's going to be pretty rare that you get your superstars from free agency. You might find a superstar for 1 or 2 years, but mostly those guys are the guys that are towards the end of their career. Like I said, unless a team gets himself into cap trouble, which does happen, I would say count on using the draft more to build your long-term team than you're going to use free agency. And you'll have a lot of success that way. Another tip, try not to change coach philosophies a lot, because most teams are built through the draft, and because the draft is only 2 rounds, and because the second round pick is usually garbage unless you're one of the top half of the draft, it takes a long time to turn a team. Unless you're going to be heavy on trading, and in which case you're kind of siphoning off talent overall from your team. Doing a lot of drastic coaching changes in the offseason will make it hard for you to really build up a solid roster that works together. So I would say try to limit your coach hirings to coaches that are very similar in players. So like, don't go from a zone defense to a man defense all at once. Maybe go from a zone defense that uses 3 linebackers to a zone defense that uses 2 linebackers. An easier way into, if you want to go man, like start gathering man defenders before you switch your whole defense over, so that you kind of have a base to start with. Same with offense. If you're going to go from a running quarterback offense to a passing team, make sure you got that quarterback already, or you got a top pick and you have the players to support it. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself for like 2 or 3 or 4 years trying to gather those players in the draft, and it gets tough. So those are my tips for the offseason. Other than that, I think this is the last video of the series, and it covers all of the basics for how to play the game. There's going to be a lot of nuance that players are figuring out on their own. There's a lot of things that I've never even thought of that I'm finding players are doing. So that's part of the fun of the game, is figuring out how to do cool things with your roster and build really cool offenses and really neat defenses and things like that. So have fun with it. Feel free to join the Steam forums or make comments on the videos if you have ideas for future videos or more training camp type things. But other than that, I wish you all have fun. Thank you.